In today's society, victimhood is increasingly being celebrated. We see it everywhere: social media, news outlets, and even in our daily interactions. But what if this focus on victimhood is doing more harm than good? In this video, we will talk about how Shoji, a character from MHA, a quiet and uninteresting character at first, and how he rised up and defied a victimhood culture and why we need to learn from him. In a world where superpowers, quirks are the norm, My Hero Academia introduces us to characters who face immense challenges. Some have no quirk at all, like how Deku was at the beginning. Some have pretty much useless quirks. Well, not really useless, but let's just say quirks that don't resonate with a user's everyday life. For example, if you are a hero, you need a hero quality quirk. But if you don't have that, it's considered useless or at the very least, not relevant. There are also some characters that suffer discrimination because their quirks made them look different than usual. These people are called heteromorphs. These quirks are mutant-type power that changes the overall appearance, and one such character that belongs to this group is Shoji Mezou, who, despite facing prejudice and hardship, defies the victimhood mentality and embodies resilience. What is victimhood exactly? So, victimhood culture refers to a societal trend, or I may argue that it can be called a societal decline, where individuals are encouraged to see themselves as victims, regardless of the context or severity of their experiences. This mindset is often perpetuated by social media, social platforms, and even some educational institutions, or general media. Let's just say that. It somehow originated from the thought that every feelings must be validated, which I agree in some levels, but at the same time, too much validation has nurtured this victimhood culture, where everyone just wants to become a victim of something and post it online to seek validation because, let's face it, it's easier to get it online than from our family, friends, or more specifically, our parents maybe. Which is very dangerous because this victimhood culture leads to self-destruction without us even noticing. It limits our full potential because we are classifying ourselves as a victim, and we're seeking for justice instead of trying harder to push through the adversity. You see where I'm coming from? So let's go back to Shoji. What does victimhood have to do with Shoji? So as you can see, Shoji's quirk Dupli Arms grants him incredible physical abilities, but it also gives him a unique appearance that has made him a target for discrimination and fear. From a young age, Shoji faced isolation and judgment because of how he looked, something that could have easily led him down a path of victimhood. So how did Shoji combat this? How did Shoji decide not to fall into this echo chamber called victimhood? Given the discrimination he faced, it would have been easy for Shoji to see himself as a victim, right? Many in his position, I myself included, might have become bitter, resentful, or withdrawn, using their suffering as an excuse to give up. But Shoji, our little boy here, chose a different path. Based on the story, I think it is actually thanks to this memory of him saving this little girl. There we go, and I do agree with this. You know, sometimes in life, when we experience so much bullshit going on, just one good thing, just one good memory can erase all that pain away. That is why parents who got home from a very tiring work feels rejuvenated once he or she sees his or her family. And that is also the reason why some artists who got harsh critics still chose to continue, because they know that someone aside from these toxic people still loves their work. And as long as there is some reason or one reason to continue, they won't stop. And to be honest, sometimes that one good thing, that one good reason is enough to hold our sanity in and not succumb to the path of darkness. So instead of succumbing to victimhood, Shoji focused on his strengths and his desire to protect others. He trained tirelessly not to prove others wrong, but to fulfill his own potential and be of service to those around him. His actions show that resilience is not just about enduring hardships, it's also about transforming them into fuel for your self-growth. Shoji's journey highlights an essential truth. Character is not defined by circumstances, but by how we respond to them. Despite the challenges he faced, Shoji never allowed himself to be defined by the prejudice against him. Instead, he defined himself by his actions. That is important. Please remember that. His dedication and his unwavering commitment to doing what is right. Shoji's story is really inspirational and a very powerful reminder that we all have the power to defy victimhood. Whether we're dealing with prejudice, setbacks, maybe racism, or any form of adversity, we can choose to let it define us, or we can just choose to rise above it, just as Shoji does. In a world that often glorifies victimhood, Shoji shows us the strength that comes from resilience and self-determination. And we can learn a lot from that because right now in our real world, victimhood culture is actually getting worse. People are always blaming somebody online, flaming them, canceling them, and refusing to take responsibility and accountability. And that is why Shoji is a role model for the modern youth. Not just for the youth, let's just include everyone, even the adults. So Shoji Mezou teaches us that our worth is not determined by how others see us, but by how we see ourselves and how we act in the face of adversity. Let this story inspire you to embrace resilience and reject the limitations of victimhood. There you have it. Thank you for watching, guys. If you found Shoji's journey inspiring and want to see more deep dives into My Hero Academia and how characters defy victimhood or their own struggles, and maybe some other characters outside these anime, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below on what you think about Shoji's development. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Goodbye for now, and see you on the next one. Peace.